My friends, I stand before you today with a simple but powerful truth. Your life is about to change. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but in this very moment. The change does not come from outside forces, but from within you. You may have been conditioned to believe that circumstances shape your destiny, that luck or fate determine your path. But I tell you this, you are the operant power. Your assumptions, your inner conversations, your vision of yourself, these are the forces that mold your reality. If you can assume it, you can become it. If you can see it with the eyes of imagination, if you can feel it as real, the world must conform to your vision. The key is not to wish, not to hope, but to assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the life you truly want, the success, the love, the abundance, the peace. Imagine yourself already living it. Not as a dream, not as a distant goal, but as your present reality. Feel it, walk in it, speak from it, and know this: it is done. Doubt will whisper in your ear, fear will try to shake you, but let me remind you, your world is only a reflection of your assumptions. Persist in your new belief, and reality will shift to match it. From this moment forward, let go of the old story. The past is only a record of previous assumptions, and you are no longer bound by it. The moment you claim your new reality in consciousness, the universe begins to rearrange itself in ways unseen to bring it to pass. Your life is about to change, not because of luck, not because of effort, but because you have dared to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So I ask you now, who do you choose to be? Assume it, live from it, and watch as the world bends to match your decision. Your life is already changing. The moment you believe it, it is done. Everything you experience in life is a mirror reflecting your inner world. The people you meet, the opportunities that arise, and even the obstacles you face are not random occurrences, but direct manifestations of your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. Most people live under the illusion that change happens from the outside, that they must work harder, struggle more, or wait for circumstances to shift before they can experience a different life. But the truth is, the external world is nothing more than a projection of the internal. To change your life, you must first change yourself, not through force or effort, but by transforming your consciousness. Your dominant thoughts and mental images create the blueprint for your reality. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are imagining, assuming, and defining yourself in specific ways. If you constantly think of yourself as struggling, unworthy, or unlucky, life will reflect that state back to you. If you believe in lack, you will experience scarcity. If you assume success is difficult, obstacles will continue to appear. The universe does not judge. It simply delivers to you what you persistently affirm in your mind. When you become aware of this, you gain the power to reshape your world from within. The secret to transformation lies in identifying and shifting your inner dialogue. What do you tell yourself on a daily basis? What do you assume about your abilities, your future, and your worth? Many people unknowingly reinforce negative patterns by dwelling on past failures or fearing the worst. They think they are being realistic, but in truth, they are unknowingly programming their subconscious mind to create more of the same. The mind is like a garden. Whatever seeds you plant will eventually grow. If you plant thoughts of doubt and failure, they will flourish. But if you deliberately cultivate thoughts of confidence, abundance, and success, your outer world will inevitably reflect these new assumptions. The power of imagination is the greatest tool you possess. It allows you to step beyond your current reality and create a new one. Every invention, every success story, and every breakthrough in history began as a thought, an image in someone's mind before it became a tangible reality. When you consistently visualize yourself already living the life you desire, when you truly feel it as real, your subconscious mind accepts it as fact. The outer world then moves to align with this new inner reality. Your task is not to fight against circumstances, but to assume with absolute conviction that the change has already occurred within you. Most people wait for external validation before believing in their new reality. They say, "I'll believe I'm successful when I see the results." But this is backward thinking. You must believe first, and then the results will come. You must assume the identity of the person you wish to be, even before the world gives you proof. The moment you shift your inner state, your thoughts, emotions, and assumptions, you initiate a powerful chain reaction. The world around you cannot help but change, because it is merely a reflection of the transformation that has already taken place within. You are not a victim of circumstances, nor are you at the mercy of fate, luck, or chance. You are the operant power, the creator, the cause, the force behind everything that unfolds in your life. The reality you experience is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you. The thoughts you habitually think, the beliefs you hold, and the assumptions you accept as true are the unseen forces shaping your world. Nothing outside of you has power over your destiny unless you first give it permission in your mind. Most people go through life reacting to what they see, believing that their environment dictates their future. They think if only their circumstances were different, if they had more money, better opportunities, or the right connections, then they could finally live the life they desire. But this is an illusion. The external world is only a reflection of what you have previously assumed to be true. The key to transformation is not to fight against what exists, but to assume a new reality within yourself, knowing that it must externalize in time. The moment you accept full responsibility for your life, not in a burdensome way, but in an empowered way, you reclaim your creative power. You realize that no one else is controlling your story. You alone decide who you are, what is possible for you, and what you will experience. Every time you declare "I am," you are setting the foundation for what comes next. If you say "I am successful," the world must shift to reflect that. If you say "I am always struggling," then struggle will become your experience. You hold the pen, you write the script. What you consistently assume about yourself and the world becomes law in your reality. If you assume life is hard, it will be. If you assume you are lucky, doors will open effortlessly. The universe is not working against you, it is responding to you. Your only job is to persist in the assumption of the life you desire, regardless of what your senses currently show you. You do not react to circumstances, you create them. When you fully accept this truth, you step into a level of power that most people never realize they possess. You do not need permission to change. You do not need validation from the world. You simply need to decide who you are and persist in that decision. The world will bend to match your assumption, for it has no choice. This is the law. This is your power. This is who you are. Everything you experience in life is a direct reflection of what you assume to be true. Your assumptions are not idle thoughts. They are the blueprints from which reality is formed. Whether you realize it or not, you are always assuming about yourself, about others, about the world. And those assumptions, held persistently, materialize into your physical experience. The law is simple. What you assume, you become. Most people believe they must first see results before they can believe in something. They think success must appear before they feel successful. Love must be present before they feel loved, and wealth must be tangible before they feel abundant. But this is the great misunderstanding. Reality does not shape your assumptions. Your assumptions shape reality. The world is not fixed. It is fluid, bending and molding itself to match your inner state. If you assume you are successful, even before the evidence appears, the world must reorganize itself to bring that assumption into form. Your subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts as true whatever you persistently assume. If you habitually think of yourself as lucky, opportunities will find you effortlessly. If you assume life is a struggle, obstacles will appear at every turn. Your assumption is the seed, and reality is the harvest. The only question is, what are you planting? To change your life, you must first change your assumptions. This means ignoring present conditions that contradict your desires and mentally living in the end result. Feel as if your wish is already fulfilled. See yourself as the person you desire to be, not in the future, but now. Walk, talk, and think from that state of being. Persist in it, regardless of what your senses tell you, and reality will be compelled to conform. There is no power outside of you deciding your fate. Your assumptions are the only creative force. The moment you truly embrace this, you will no longer wait for change, you will assume it. And in doing so, make it inevitable. Everything you see around you, the buildings, the technology, the art, the music, was once only an image in someone's mind. Imagination is the source of all creation, the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is not a mere tool for fantasy or entertainment. It is the very power that shapes reality. What you vividly imagine with feeling and conviction must externalize in your world. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Most people use their imagination unconsciously, allowing it to be ruled by fear, doubt, and past experiences. They imagine worst-case scenarios, relive painful memories, and anticipate failure, not realizing that these mental images are shaping their future. But just as imagination can be misused to create unwanted experiences, it can also be consciously directed to manifest the life you desire. You are always imagining, so why not imagine what you want? The secret is to live in the end, to assume, within the privacy of your own mind, that your desire is already fulfilled. Close your eyes and construct a scene that implies your wish has come true. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were real. Engage all your senses. Touch it, hear it, see it, and most importantly, believe it. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It only responds to what you accept as true. Doubt may whisper that your imagination is not powerful enough to change reality, but this is the greatest lie. Every great achievement began as an imagined possibility. The moment you persist in your vision, without concern for how it will unfold, unseen forces begin to work in your favor. People, circumstances, and events will shift to bring about the fulfillment of your inner world. Reality is not separate from you, it is the reflection of your assumed truth. You do not need external proof to believe in your dream. You only need to assume it, persist in it, and watch as the world rearranges itself to match your vision. Everything you desire already exists in imagination. It is simply waiting for you to claim it. The greatest secret to changing your life is to live in the end. This means assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and dwelling in that state, mentally and emotionally, as if it were already a reality. Instead of hoping, wishing, or waiting, you step into the version of yourself who already has what they desire. You think from the outcome, not toward it. You no longer chase your dreams, you embody them. Most people remain stuck in a cycle of waiting. They believe they must first see results before they can feel successful, loved, or abundant. But this is a misunderstanding of how reality works. Your external world is a reflection of your internal state. If you persist in seeing yourself as someone who is still striving, struggling, or lacking, life will mirror that assumption back to you. But the moment you assume without doubt that your desire is already yours, the world must conform to that belief. Living in the end is not about wishful thinking, it is about a complete shift in identity. You must become, in consciousness, the person who already has what they seek. If you desire wealth, feel wealthy now. If you seek love, assume you are already deeply loved. If you want success, walk, talk, and think as a successful person would. Do not wait for the world to validate your new state. Validate it within yourself first, and the world will follow. At first, your senses may try to deceive you. They may show you the same old circumstances, making you believe that nothing has changed. But do not be fooled. Reality is always catching up to your assumptions. Persist in your new state, unwavering and unshaken, and in time, your world must reflect it. What you consistently occupy in imagination becomes your physical experience. You are not bound by your past, nor are you subject to circumstances beyond your control. You are the creator of your reality. The moment you decide to live in the end, to think, feel, and act as if your desire is already yours, you set an unshakable law into motion. The world must shift to align with your assumption. This is not magic, this is law. Persist in the end, and the end will meet you. Doubt is the greatest enemy of manifestation, yet it holds no real power unless you give it attention. When you assume a new reality, your old beliefs and fears may try to convince you otherwise. Your senses might show you the same unwanted conditions, tempting you to waver in your assumption. But persistence is the force that bridges the gap between the unseen and the seen. The only way to fail is to give up before the change is realized. If you persist, you will win. Most people start with excitement when they adopt a new assumption, but when immediate results don't appear, they return to their old way of thinking. They allow doubt to control them instead of controlling doubt. But reality is simply a delayed reflection of your dominant state. If you persist in assuming your desire is already yours, reality has no choice but to catch up. The key is to remain faithful to your vision, even when nothing seems to be happening. When doubt arises, and it will, you must remind yourself that it is nothing more than a conditioned response from your past assumptions. It has no real authority unless you believe in it. Instead of engaging with doubt, reaffirm your new state. Walk in the certainty that what you desire is already done. Speak as if you have already received it. Feel as if it is already yours. The more you persist in this state, the weaker doubt becomes. Your subconscious mind accepts what you consistently impress upon it. If you persist in faith, your new assumption will harden into fact. You do not need to know how or when it will happen. You only need to remain unwavering in your conviction. The moment you refuse to entertain any thought contrary to your desire, you have already won. Reality must rearrange itself to reflect your new belief. There is no power greater than persistence. It is the force that transforms dreams into reality, turns impossibilities into certainties, and molds the unseen into the seen. The only question is, will you persist long enough to claim what is already yours? Too many people live as prisoners of their past, allowing old failures, disappointments, and traumas to dictate their future. But let me tell you something profoundly liberating. Your past has no power over you unless you choose to give it power. Who you were yesterday is irrelevant to who you decide to be today. The moment you assume a new identity, the past dissolves into nothingness. You are not bound by what was. You are only shaped by what you now accept as true. Most people mistakenly believe that because something has happened before, it must continue to happen. They replay old stories in their minds, reaffirming past limitations and reinforcing unwanted patterns. But the past is not a prophecy. It is merely a record of former assumptions. Your experiences up until now were only the result of past beliefs. and those beliefs can be changed. The instant you assume a new state of being, the world begins to shift in response. If you continue to define yourself by your past, you will keep recreating it. But the moment you decide with conviction that you are someone new, reality must conform. You are free right now to assume a new version of yourself, one that is not burdened by past mistakes, regrets, or failures. You do not need permission, you do not need proof. You only need to persist in your new assumption, and the world will adjust accordingly. Your mind is the only thing keeping the past alive. If you stop identifying with it, it loses all influence over you. Instead of looking backward, fix your gaze forward, on the person you are becoming, on the reality you are creating. The more you dwell in this new state, the faster the past will fade into irrelevance. You are not your history. You are not your old struggles. You are only the consciousness you choose to embody in this moment. So I ask you, who do you choose to? Will you continue dragging the weight of old stories, or will you step boldly into your new self? The past does not define you. The only thing that defines you is the assumption you accept now. And the moment you fully embrace this truth, you are free. Right now, in this very moment, something is shifting within you. You may not see it yet, but the change has already begun. The thoughts you entertain, the assumptions you hold, and the vision you claim as your own are shaping the reality that is unfolding before you. You are not waiting for transformation, it is already happening. Your life is changing now. Most people believe that change is a slow, external process, that it requires time, effort, and circumstances to align. But the truth is, change begins the moment you decide to see yourself differently. The instant you assume a new reality in your mind, the world starts to rearrange itself to match that assumption. The shift is internal first, external second. If you dare to believe in the unseen, if you persist in the assumption that your desires are already yours, then change is not something you are hoping for, it is something you are living. Your only task is to remain faithful to your new state of being. Doubt may whisper that things are the same, but you must not be deceived by the illusion of the present moment. Reality is always catching up to your new assumption. Even when you see no evidence, trust that the transformation is underway. The same way a seed must break through the soil before it is visible, your new life is already taking root beneath the surface. Do not look to the past for validation, for the past is irrelevant. What matters is the assumption you hold now. If you declare with unwavering faith that your life is already different, then it must be so. You do not need to force or struggle. Your only job is to persist in the knowing that the change is real, and reality will reflect it. So, step forward boldly. Walk as the person you have chosen to become. Speak as if your desires are already fulfilled. Think only from the state of your wish already realized. The shift is happening, not tomorrow, not someday. Your life is changing now. The power to change has never been outside of you. It has always been within. You are the operant power, the creator of your reality, the architect of your destiny. The moment you decide to assume your new life, the past loses all control and the future bends to your will. There is no need to wait, no reason to hesitate. Right here, right now, make the choice. Declare that your life is already transformed. Walk in the certainty that your desires are already yours. Think, feel, and act from the state of your fulfilled dream, and reality will be compelled to reflect it. This is not wishful thinking, it is law. And the moment you persist in this truth, nothing can stop the change that is already in motion. Your life is not about to change, your life is changing now. Step into it, claim it, live it,